early game and then carries you in mid to late with a team fighting Presma.
Yeah, he's incredibly flexible. I mean, you can do multiple builds, you can do multiple skill orders, even just in lane, either maxing Q or W, going AP, going full tank. Quick on the picks and bans here, though. I also have a very high priority on the Senna Tahm Kench. That is going to be fasting Senna for sure, farming Tahm Kench. He's going to eat up, and that gives you a very powerful Aphromoo. We've seen them with Aphromoo teleporting in as support Tahm Kench to defend Dardoch's level 1 jungle just last week, and it turning out really well for Dig. So locking this combo in again for Neo and Aphromoo does provide a bottom lane that's very safe. It doesn't put out a lot of pressure, but Renekton definitely can put out pressure, even against Gragas, who is one of the better ones at sustaining through that.
Yeah, both teams feel pretty prepared here, actually. So it seems like Cloud9's prepared response for Senna Tahm Kench, which they expected to give away given how this draft has gone. It was instant Ashe Lulu, which is kind of cool. We'll see how that one works out. Hecarim, though, the next ban, so going to take away more of Blaber's champions, and I imagine both junglers here are probably going to lose a couple. Although maybe not, actually, if you're on the Cloud9 side, because realistically, what do you ban away from Dardoch? He's already played 11 different champions.
They're turning the tables here. Dardoch is going to start banning away from you. Blaber and Dardoch, two of the jungle players with the biggest champion pools thus far. It does feel kind of like a shot in the dark here to throw out bans at both of them, but taking away Hecarim when you see a Lulu is always a good idea. Because a Lulu does not just have to buff up your AD carry, can easily buff up Blaber, and anytime Cloud9 have supportive champions, they very often use them to buff up Blaber in multiple situations. So taking away the Hecarim for that hard engage, definitely a good option here. I'm curious to see too, if it is going to be a Vulcan Lulu, which I'm assuming it is, very well could be flexed to one of the solo lanes. I definitely doubt it, but it is there, so keep that in mind as far as the Gragas and Lulu, both very flexible here for Cloud9, like the opening to their champion select, and you can see, you know, Dignitas switching between a lot of different roles here as far as bans they're throwing out.
Yeah, Fudge has actually already played Lulu top. It didn't look great in the game he played it, but he has actually already played it in lock-in, so it is possible. Nidalee, though, banned away from Dardoch. That's one of the champions he has played already, and he lost on it. Syndra banned away from Soligo because Ryze was banned. I actually really like that ban from Dig. Just Soligo is probably going to play a mage here. Can't really let Ryze go back over to Perkz, given how well he played on it yesterday. If you do want to pick TF, Ryze is pretty good at matching that, so does want to take that here, takes away the Ryze as a result, but that is going to leave Tristana the pick there, which is, with Ashe already in the game, probably going to be a mid laner.
It for sure is going into the TF, because when TF tries to make a side lane play, Tristana takes your turret, basically.
Right.
You get right up there, one wave is enough time, explosive shot on that sucker, and you can definitely do some demolition work, as the champion is known for. So we'll see about this Twisted Fate priority, because I was going to jump right on this for Dignitas. I think it looks really great. You have Renekton top, you lock in a Twisted Fate, your top side of the map is extremely dangerous, and teams have had success, at least in lock-in, putting pressure on Fudge on that top side of the map. But now, when you have a Tristana mid lane, Cloud9 are saying, if you want to throw things at Fudge, go ahead, we're going to make you pay for it.
No! Combo breaker, Kobe, no! Dardoch's going to play Kayn again, which is fun. Kayn's awesome, but unfortunately, Dardoch, after 11 games, has repeated.
Honestly, you don't want to keep it up just for the memes, and this actually is a pretty good Kayn game as well, since you have multiple squishy champions that you can assassinate very easily. So I'm assuming that it's going to go blue Kayn again, because unless he focuses top side only, definitely is an option there with the Twisted Fate and Renekton combo we talked about, though. So actually, it might be a little bit more flexible this game rather than the one we saw previously, but the blue Kayn definitely has gained a lot of momentum.
Actually, one of the things I was going to point out before they got to that pick is the other thing I like about Dig's draft is it actually plays around the jungle really well. Like, they're giving Dardoch last pick, they're potentially counter-picking like some jungle we haven't seen yet, or just wanting to make sure they can set up for something like the Kayn if that's the jungle he was going for. And like, when you have a strong laner in Renekton and a Twisted Fate, it's very easy for Dardoch to move into the enemy jungle and try and fight people, or into lanes, which is what he wants to do. So I think they're set up super well. Tahm Kench Senna is awesome if you want to play weak side bottom lane, which, given the draft from Dig, you're probably expecting. I do think Tristana Tristana changes the dynamic a lot of how mid lane works because, as you said, it's much harder to get away with roaming often on Twisted Fate when Triss can just take all your towers. But it's going to be a fun one. Like we said, definitely a big test here for Dignitas as Cloud9 have continued to gain strength since losing in the lock-in finals. But Dig on the rise potentially could take a game here and tie things up with Cloud9. They'd actually be, I guess, in striking distance of the top of the standings if 100 Thieves lose today.
Yeah, looks like it is going to be blue Kayn again here, as seen by the Dark Harvest for Dardoch. They're looking at Perkz. He does have Cleanse as well as the Flash, though, so at most it would be Summoner's Blown if they're able to make that collapse happen. Dardoch's going super deep, see if he gets a ward down. Does not actually even drop his Trinket ward. Possibly just looking for a little bit of a move there towards Perkz. Kayn, though, annihilates Raptors just as well as Lillia does, so expect that red quadrant start for Dardoch. And the moment of truth we'll see is, does he actually go for the full clear red quadrant into bottom side, or does he actually try and make an early visit up towards the Renekton? Because the quicker you can start getting some souls racked up, the better for Kayn, even if you start on top side and you get some red orbs off of the Gragas. Look at that. Raptors are gone, Pastry.
Goodbye. They've disappeared. Dardoch's going to walk straight through and into the Krug, so taking those small camps first. Other thing of note, it is actually surprisingly not Fasting Senna. That's a Doran's Blade in Neo's inventory, not a Spectral Sickle or any sort of support item. So it's just going to be farming it up, which we have seen. I feel like it has been less successful because soul scaling is just so powerful, but certainly still a good combination, even if you're swapping the roles of TK and Senna. So a slight difference. We'll see how it plays out in the game, but just wanted to note that I am surprised to see that it's not Fasting Senna this time.
So my idea on that is that when Cloud9 answered the early Senna Tahm Kench lock-in with Lulu Ashe, and you're facing now all of a sudden double ranged, you can't get the same value out of Fasting Senna because a lot of it does come down to a more even matchup where Tahm Kench doesn't have to worry about this double harassment from Lulu Ashe every time he tries to kill off minions, and he could actually farm up, and that also allows the Senna to go for these trades. But when you have Lulu Ashe here, heavy poke early on, double range advantage for them, it puts a lot more pressure on that style, and they decided just to have Aphromoo sit back so they don't soak a bunch of extra damage, let Neo do the farming.
And let Dardoch do the farming too, as Vulcan is actually going to roam up here. Gets the poke down onto this ward. Should be able to take it with that sweep, as Zven actually going to go ahead and collect it. So they split the gold. Very nice of the Cloud9 support to give a little bit of extra money over to his AD. I don't know if they spotted Dardoch, but I think they have a good idea even if they didn't, as Soligo is busy being pushed in by Perkz. Definitely expected here, especially early on in levels. Tristana, always good at pushing and can't really do much as a mage when you can just have to auto-attack the wave against someone that is designed to auto-attack against you.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for Dardoch, since he did focus small camps, I love these types of clears where he went Raptors straight into Krugs. He can just cross right back through mid into second spawn of Raptors. Second spawn with the extra experience here, super duper efficient. Basically right as it comes back up, then head up to Krugs and get to that really quick level 5.
Well, looks like Soligo actually ate quite a lot of damage from Perkz, but Perkz did use his cleanse. So I'm guessing gold card and just offensively cleansed it to shoot him, as Blaber's going to take both squatter carbs, actually. That is one of the concessions Dardoch has had to make with the way he pathed, and also I think just given the state of mid lane at that point. So Blaber does get double crab, which always feels good for the jungle, but again, Dardoch is flying through here on the Kayn, so should be just fine as he retakes his small camps on the top side of the map. Bottom, actually looking fine for Neo, farming back nicely. Aphro, of course, is playing support, so doesn't need to worry about that, as you mentioned, which is a good call-out. But Zven and Vulcan are pushing aggressively here, which is something we should expect when they counterpick this lane so aggressively with Ashe and Lulu. Good snare they're going to land, but no follow-up damage as the shield from Vulcan comes down. And Dardoch is looking around here in mid again, but Tristana, pretty tricky champion to try and gank.
Yeah, and you see that ward right there. Saw him on the approach path. So Perkz is hovering bottom side.
Good buffer.
Plus he's got the buffer. Cleanse was blown in the last exchange, but able to dodge out on most of the damage.
Counter gank here from Blaber now. That's going to force a flash to Soligo now with the gold card ready to go, but the first blood is on the table. Smite is there. Dardoch, though, he's going to go down. It's Blaber that gets it. Flash order for the first blood. Soligo chasing out Perkz and just barely going to miss that flash. No, he's not in range.
Oh. just too far away there. Soligo in the split second can't pull it off. Perkz able to dodge out on the Kayn W, but not the wild cards there, so it takes a little bit of the extra damage. Blaber goes in for the flash just to reposition away from Soligo and get out of range off of that kill with the extra speed too, able to get away. Perkz then dodging those wild cards, and they've got out with it. What an outplay here, the 2v2 for Perkz and Blaber. First blood locked up for Cloud9.
It's tragic. And I know like blue card TF's a big meme, but that's actually the correct card because it does the most damage. And insta-locking TF cards is not easy. So, unfortunately for Soligo to use the flash and not get the kill, but going to keep up in lane nicely as both mid laners have actually finished their boots. But the 2v2 does indeed go to Cloud9 as Dardoch deciding to visit somewhere else here. Vulcan and Zven have been pushed up pretty much all laning phase long, and Kayn, much like Rek'Sai and Shaco and those champions, can do this kind of thing, especially when Twisted Fate's around. It's going to be Zven that's the target. Aphromoo is going to flash in, and that's going to be a great counter kill there as Dardoch is going to grab that one onto Zven.
Ooh, money right into the pockets of blue Kayn here for Dignitas, funding some extra long swords for Dardoch shortly, plus grabbing some of those very precious blue orbs for his transformation. Blaber comes up to try and answer though. He's level 6.
Going to sleep.
Sleep him.
Oh, he's in the wall. Comes out though because he falls asleep. There's the Eep though as Vulcan's going to follow up, and Dardoch just taking too much damage. It's Vulcan that's going to grab the kill.
And just like that, off of your first play there for Dig, Dardoch gets caught by Blaber, walks up with a level lead on Lillia, level 6, finishes it off. Objective earned. It was a really good start though. This Twisted Fate aggressive play with the Kayn gank, able to get the last hit here, execution for Dardoch as well. But on the return here, a little bit lazy, not respecting Blaber, who just walks right up. There was Smite available for Dardoch, so that's why he was sticking around, but he just lets Blaber walk right up into Q range. Doesn't even have to land a seed or anything to land that sleep, and that's right into Dragon. He continues power clearing. It's now a 2-level lead for Cloud9's all-star jungler.
I like that the power clear in this case includes the Dragon. That's just how much prancing around the jungle that Blaber has been doing.
It includes Dardoch too. He's got the Dardoch camp, he's got the Dragon camp, you know, just clean the entire map. Everything in front of him is just more golden experience.
All right, well, looking good here. Cloud9 up 1,000 gold off of this early game, plus that Dragon. So feeling good. Blaber with the Seekers already done as well. Going to make battling Kayn and maybe Renekton, but mostly Kayn, that much easier, which is nice. But Dardoch here going to at least try and trade cross-map and the extension of all this back and forth between the junglers, and wants to take this Rift Herald here. Soligo going to move in to make sure that happens, and it doesn't look like Cloud9 are in the area to contest.
So with all of this early action in the favor of Cloud9, it really does make this mid-game difficult for Dig to play out with their comp. Because even with the Twisted Fate first ultimate grabbing a kill for Dardoch, since Cloud9 actually ended up getting that Dragon and got a counter kill, you know, funding this huge level lead for Blaber, they don't have the priority in jungle that they really want to be able to combine with this Twisted Fate. And now you see it being so rare that a Twisted Fate team like this does get constantly invaded, but you've got your Tristana mid constantly pushing up. Blaber is just so fed. He's taking away more resources from Dardoch from this Kayn, and he's going to maintain that double level lead here. It becomes so oppressive now for Lillia. This is every single crab thus far in the game picked up by Blaber as well. He's just controlling all the resources here on Summoner's Rift. Even though Dardoch's able to pick up that Rift Herald, that's kind of a drop in the bucket for them as far as a little bit of extra gold they can use, but really still lacking in the experience department.
Yeah, I know we don't really we don't talk about this much because the calculations don't work exactly the same for jungle, but we talk about 20-30 CS leads as being very significant for laners. That's the lead that Blaber has against Dardoch right now in farm, not to mention all that XP as well. Still 2 levels as the numbers look right now. So it's been an awesome early game for Cloud9, and Blaber has continued to show just how good he is, regardless of opponent. Still, there's battle left here for Dig. Falling behind in gold, certainly feeling the pressure, but we've seen them make plays already with the Twisted Fate in bottom lane, can certainly look to repeat that. And also FakeGod's doing quite well in his isolated 1v1. We haven't gone top lane because there's been no time, but Renekton is certainly primed to maybe make a play or have someone come up to his lane and make one with him.
I mean, classic top lane play here from FakeGod. Hey, I'm doing my job up here. What's going on down there, everybody? Map is on fire, it looks like. You can see on the mini-map, too, right now, mid lane, the Tristana with the explosive shot passive pushes up the lane, constantly pushing this Twisted Fate in, then gets right up to the turret. That is down to 1.5 turret plates just with Perkz working away on it. The Rift Herald went over to Dignitas. This is not like a Rift Herald or anything. This is constantly pushing against Twisted Fate, explosive shot over and over. He's got Cleanse Flash, so he's ungankable. Still has his ultimate, plus always has Rocket Jump to rely on, but here's Twisted Fate.
That's such a good route there onto Zven, but the heal is there. Actually, it's Wild Growth, and now Blaber moving in. He's got 3 with the ulti. Going to put them all to sleep as Tahm Kench gets the devour, but Soligo is going to be the first one to fall as FakeGod TP's in. Gets a stun, but Blaber with such an early Zhonya is going to get out of there. Jumps away, but no, FakeGod is able to finish it off, and now Dardoch against the turret takes a tower shot that he probably didn't want to, but Dignitas are actually going to get away with just a 1-for-1 trade.
And that's terrible, Pastry. A 1-for-1 trade, and you sent 5 members bottom. Not only is Perkz going to take that mid turret, that thing is gone, but topside as well. Fudge finally gets the push across halfway point in top lane, so he's even going to get some money for himself off of a turret plate on topside. Maybe Dig go again, though.
Ooh, the re-engage with the Tahm Kench. Very sneaky. Dardoch over the wall. Vulcan now in the alcove. He's going to be fighting FakeGod, Aphro, and friends. And Neo going to easily pick up that one. Dardoch has got a few more orbs, so Zven at least gets away. So, 2 kills with 5 people down at the bottom lane. Still not great, but Dig with a very nice little re-engage there. Aphro with a very creative use of the Abyssal Voyage.
All right, we can go through this once again, but you already know the ramifications of this are going to be so much gold in the favor of Cloud9. Blaber's here for the initial counter, gets a 3-person sleep, even though they eat up the AD carry here. Neo, flash in for stun, is delayed by the Zhonyas from Blaber, still ends up going down. As you said, 1-for-1 with the entire rest of the map pushing is fully Cloud9 favored. But they try again. They use more time here. Nobody recalls. Aphromoo goes in with the ultimate from Tahm Kench, and they get an extra kill. This is going to be a drop in the bucket, though. Cloud9 already have Gale Force here on Perkz. So you thought this Tristana was hard to catch before with Flash Cleanse, Rocket Jump, and Buster Shot. Now also Gale Force added to it. Perkz is going to have some real fancy dancing moves for you for the rest of these team fights. Yes, don't expect him to die.
Just a ton of extra burst. That is a very confident purchase here for Perkz. We've seen a lot of shield burst. Shield burst, an excellent mythic that we've seen on a large number of different champions. FakeGod at least is going to get this top outer tower, by the way, which is good use of the Rift Herald there for Dardoch. It was probably close to timing out as well, so it did need to get value. Does indeed give the tower and the plates over to FakeGod. Second Dragon, though, over to Cloud9 as they continue to play pretty quickly here in this one, up almost 2,000 gold. It looks like they're diving bottom lane, 4v2. And now what do you do? As Neo pops the Black Mist, he's going to try and buy a little bit of extra time, but Perkz could actually just maybe finish off the tower if he's got enough space. Minion Wave, they're running out. Means that Dignitas' duo lane will stay safe for now.
Yeah, dive's pretty risky there because you're playing against Twisted Fate. That was an Ashe arrow
it was.
from Zven. Swing and a miss, we'll say. Soligo just walks right forward. But yeah, that dive would have been really ill-advised. Twisted Fate ready for the counter there. The tower was not in range to get bursted quickly enough. And if you have a stun coming in with Twisted Fate, Dardoch flying in on the...
Oh my goodness. Perkz just popping up again. I said a Gale Force, just one of those items. Perkz in! Perkz is out! He takes out Dardoch in a 1v3!
Who's ganking who here? Perkz is able to go right back in. Teaching Dardoch a lesson. If you come at the king, you best not miss. Tristana return damage is insane here. Oh my goodness. All right, they're going to keep going.
Yeah, tower's dead. Who else is though? That's the real question. Fudge there lining it up. Ooh, Aphro with a good angle on the flash. Gets himself out safely. Perkz, so not done, of course. But now going to have to be as Aphromoo devours Neo safely away, and Soligo is off to the side lanes. But you can see, even after just that first Twisted Fate ult, that got Dig a kill, right? That's a good play. The cost that he had to pay to Tristan, all those tower plates and that gold, has just cascaded now into this massive open map where Cloud9, who are already ahead, are only getting further ahead.
Yeah, I just like the answers that Cloud9 had in the draft when we were talking about, okay, if you're going to spend resources going at Fudge, we're going to punish you the rest of the map. Perkz, as we said, full combo, kills off Dardoch. Explosive shot blew up, so he can W right back out as well. full reset there. He uses the Gale Force to perfection. He's still got both summoners, level 11 on the Tristana now. It's going to be pretty easy now to rotate him around to clear up the last outer turret. He's incredibly difficult to try and pincer. There's no effect of a Twisted Fate teleporting in on him because of Cleanse and being able to cast Rocket Jump right as the card is about to stun you to be able to buffer it and still get the distance. So looks like Cloud9, keep him in the side lane, push up ahead, even against FakeGod, who is the big winner for Dignitas because he got the isolated lane versus Fudge on Gragas. Well, Twisted Fate pick.
Looking for Blaber. Zonies again, but no rocket jump here for Blaber. Good flash though, great flash actually. And maybe going to turn it back around. Dardoch going to be put to sleep. Tahm Kench is there, does devour. And now Perkz just looking for it. He's like facing 4 people, just doesn't care. Soligo's going to be the target. Perkz walking forward, but now FakeGod finds it in there, but Perkz dunks him away with the Buster Shot, and Dignitas are going to have to disengage.
Nice to take a little nap inside Aphromu's belly. If you're falling asleep, jump right into Tahm Kench to safety. Rift Herald started up. Fudge is really far away, but Cloud9 still poking around.
Soligo also forced to TP back in. Is there from base, and it's going to be a 5v5 potentially here. Dignitas though first to the area, but C9 walking back in. Ulti cooldown's not really available for either side, but Digger going to try and finish the Herald first. Everyone juking them skill shots. Fudge is looking for the angle. Ready with the body slam, ready with the ulti. It's going to be Dardoch that he wants, but in the front side, and it's Blaber getting shielded up, and he's okay. Soligo gets peppered by arrows from Zven. Dardoch already zoned out, and Perkz is going in again. Soligo's the target. They're going to take him out, but he goes golden for a moment, and is now Perkz going to finish that off. That's one. Now Aphro trying to devour up Neo as Fudge is still keeping everybody down. Looks for the follow flash, but Fudge doesn't quite find it as Blaber to take out Aphro, and Neo still dead to Perkz at the end of the day as Fudge has tanked up everything, and Cloud9, they're going to make it 3 clean kills.
Yeah, looks like this one will not be as close as the C9 game yesterday, PastryTime. All dragons, all towers going their way, and all fights as well for Cloud9. Perkz probably not going to die this entire game. Right now sitting at 3 kills for himself, continuing to push ahead. Every time they get a teamfight victory, they can take so many objectives as well. Here's a look at the chase. He did so much damage here, forcing FakeGod out initially, and then Fudge over the wall finds Dardoch. So Dignitas are sitting here, a numbers disadvantage, trying to run away back to their own towers. Doesn't even matter that Fudge does not hit this flash on his body slam flash here. All he has to do is tank up the turret for Perkz to be able to come in and finish the job.
And of course, kind of the other person involved here for Cloud9 alongside Perkz has been Blaber. So we can see Zven also doing plenty of heavy lifting in that team fight, just constantly issuing out damage as the Ashe. But Blaber, Kobe, has one of my favorite Lillia items, I think, in the whole game. Blaber has Demonic Embrace second, which is sweet. It's just
fan
so
of the
cool.
burn, are you?
Yeah, I think used Deathfire Touch a few too many times when that was a rune way back in the day. Ulti,
all right.
Hits one. Dardoch actually great devour from Aphro's FakeGod. Going to be busted shot back. He's just really not got much tankiness to speak of as he falls asleep at the wheel. Not where you want to be, as Neo's going to be the next target. Cloud9 going to make it 2 as Blaber's already taken down FakeGod. And Blaber, in fact, going to collect both kills there. Soligo's ulti just reveals the information they already had, which is that Cloud9 have killed you twice and taken the dragon.
Yep, and with all of the flashy plays from Blaber and Perkz and even Fudge on the initiations, this DPS workhorse, Zven, on a Lulu buff up Ashe is just pumping out the DPS, running from the backside. This one, he does hit the arrow, but Gragas is so good versus Tahm Kench. Even though you can devour the arrow target, Fudge hits the Gragas ultimate, FakeGod gets annihilated on the split, and C9 can just chase down the rest of the members. It's immediate scramble there for Dig to try and get out of town.
All right, well, Storm Reason now finished for Perkz. He's actually working pretty rapidly on item number 3. I feel like he's racing his jungler for kills on items this game. It's 3-0-3 versus 5-1 and 2. Combining for 8-1 and 5 between the jungler and the middle lane of this game. Cloud9 looking unstoppable so far. They're up about 5,000 gold and counting. They're going to have a very fast soul as 4 minutes time. They'll get to play for the Infernal Soul if they want it, which I'm sure they do. And Baron is actually a very real target they can look at here, given that they have 2 marksmen and a ton of damage built up already.
I wonder Okay, I guess we'll just see the.
You don't have
right
time,
here.
Kobe. I'm sorry. Neo's already dead. Explosive shot in. Perkz wants it. He's going to get the kill indeed. He's on a rampage. Does root his teammate there off to Senna W, but it's fine as they're going to take the tower as well.
Okay, yeah. I was like, I wonder if they just go for diving now. Yes, they do.
Yep.
Perkz jumps right in. Blaber's able to hit, and Cloud9 do not have to stop anytime soon. Baron is under their control. Plenty of control wards. It just spawned at 20 minutes, and yet plenty of threat here for Dig to even go look for vision.
Blaber, that's just so dirty. He just waits for Dardoch to go over the wall. Zven's going to set it up. The Eep happens there. Dardoch still the target, burning down again. Is Aphromoo going to go down to the arrow? No, what a great save. It's a Blaber. He's over the wall with the blast going from the Infernal Rift. Make sure the kill gets finished off. Now has to prance back towards safety as Fudge is there, but FakeGod's in the way, but Blaber is going to be escorted out safely of the enemy base.
Yeah, just walks on right out. Make sure they finish up on the extra kill. Aphromoo down, tower down as well. And this looks like we are going to beat James' 30 minutes
That's true,
timer
actually.
on this
Take
one.
it back.
Casey,
He was right.
You're thinking, yeah, that sounds kind of quick. Well, Cloud9 challenge accepted.
And looks like completed. They got 8.5 minutes or so to do it. They're going to finally take a reset. Spend some of that gold that they're building up from taking all the towers and killing all of Dignitas' champions.
Yeah. I kind of do like, back to your earlier point for Lillia and Demonic Embrace, because, yeah, you know, I love the percentage health damage versus guys like Renekton that build so much health and have more health in their ultimate, and, you know, Aphromoo on the Tahm Kench, even though he's not a farming Tahm Kench, but it's also the tankier Lillia build. And I kind of like stepping away from the more squishy ones. This is one of the ideas when Lillia first came out, to be an AP bruiser. Demonic Embrace really is that AP bruiser item with the extra bonus armor and magic resist. So that plus Azonias, we've seen how difficult it is for them to take down Blaber. He's only died a single time, and that was in the bottom side play. Perkz with red buff, though. That one's going to burn.
Gale forces in. Oh, FakeGod's just so dead as Perkz is now unstoppable. Fudge TP'd in just to spectate, I think, but wasn't needed as it turned out.
Yep, not needed at all. Perkz has everything under control here. Rocket jump into reset there. Gale Force as well. Red buff on for good measure. And I guess we'll just see Cloud9 pushing in. They don't even need the Baron here. Finish up on the outer towers. They could even continue the pressure on Inhibitor turret, but I expect them to draw back at the Dragon. They've got 1 minute to play around, get a little bit more gold, take this bottom turret. Maybe they find a pick, you know, with a swirl seed or something from Blaber, but no reason to risk anything here. Dragon will spawn shortly. Infernal Soul is on the menu.
All right, well, Infinity Edge now done for Perkz if, you know, he needed any more damage to take out the enemy with. 50 seconds. Now to that Dragon, Cloud9, they're going to go ahead and do their warding of the Baron side, it looks like. Just wanting to make sure there's no possible trades that Dignitas can opt in for. Also don't even, like, need the soul. They'd obviously like it, but Dignitas are so far away from even threatening a significant Dragon of their own that Cloud9 can instead look to trade Baron for Dignitas' first Dragon, which, if you're on the Cloud9 side, it's an excellent trade.
Yeah, thing is here, Cloud9, they only need one member. Any member on the team can take care of this Dragon. And as long as they keep up some vision on Dig, well, they can.
Oh my goodness, Perkz just explodes poor Neo. Aphromoo is going to go as well as Perkz. One marksman takes down the whole bottom lane. And now Soligo in danger of falling asleep, but does get back out to safety with his ulti. The Cloud9 are busy trying to win the game here. Again, they've got a time limit, Kobe. Trying to win out of 30 minutes here as Perkz going to look to make that happen onto Soligo, who's found himself ulted into the base and right into the face of Perkz and Fudge. Body slams in, but it does miss there as Soligo is forced to flash away, and now Perkz got Blaber behind him there again. They're just closing the trap here under the tower. Asleep goes FakeGod. Goodbye goes Renekton, and Soligo going to be the next one as Perkz going legendary, going to grab 2 more kills. And now Dardoch, the only one left alive, is haunting the body of Zven, who he takes out. But Perkz is like straight face tanking the tower as that crit almost took out Dardoch. And Perkz, he just wants to kill, he doesn't care. He gives away the KDA. 1,000 bonus gold to Dardoch. And it might not matter.
Oh, Perkz really feeling it on that one. That's what we expected here. Coming over. You can take Perkz out of G2, but you can't take the G2 out of Perkz. He goes for the kill instead of saving his giant bounty. That is now picked up. Yes, Pastry, maybe it is a drop in the bucket with the giant lead that Cloud9 have. But Digger happy to have it.
Yeah, I mean, they'll take it. This, however, not so much. Perkz isn't here, though, so perhaps this fight is a little bit fairer. It's actually going to be a 4v3. Soligo TP's in. Make it 5v3 as FakeGod's joined in as well. Blaber going to be the target. Great. Where did that even come from? We'll figure it out later. Dardoch's on a killing spree. Taking out Gragas as Fudge is going down. That should mean Dragon finally over to Dignitas.
All right.
There we go.
They can stop the soul. Blaber's going to try and steal. He's sleeping.
All right. Asleep is Dardoch. Zven is there. Reveals the area with a hawk shot. But everyone's okay. Dig, they get the Dragon and they get out safely. That has not happened that many times this game.
If we look back at this game and Dignitas are actually able to make one of these miraculous comebacks from this ginormous early deficit, and the cause is Perkz jumping in for a kill rather than jumping away, getting over the bounty, then losing out on that Infernal Soul there, it will be the most ridiculous story that we have had all year in an LCS game.
Oh, no way, no way! Soligo! He stole it! Are you kidding me?
This story, Pastry! Please, Dick! You gotta be able to make this story come true. They take the Infernal Soul deny. They take the Baron steal with Soligo. Oh my goodness. Now they have to hold, though. This is the hard part, PastryTime. Cloud9 are coming to finish off the base, Baron or not, and you need to hold now, Dignitas.
That is just, we'll talk about it later. C9 trying to end the game here because they know what just happened and they're going to try not to let it affect the result. Certainly would be the biggest comeback we've had this split. Thank you, Jeopardash, for informing us before. But unfortunately for Dig, they're just losing bodies here in their fountain as Neo going to get kicked back by the buster shot. Fudge with a great ulti splits the uprights and knocks FakeGod into the enemy team in the waiting arms of Perkz. He's still not done. Neo going to get reset on. That's a triple kill. Is it going to be a Perkz yet again? A different marksman this time on the Cloud9 side of Soligo is going to fall. That's the Quadra, and you know they're diving the fountain for the Pentakobe.
Oh, Perkz, get in there, everybody. Oh, okay, they want to finish. They want to end. They want to end. That's good coaching right there, PastryTime.
Discipline. Rainover's taught them well. Okay, it's not done. I take it all back. They're going for it again. They still got the timer. Perkz is jumping in. I think he's got a little bit too far forward. He has it indeed. And doesn't get it. It's 1,000 call to Aphromoo again. But thankfully, Vulcan and Blaber, the DPS Kings, are here to finish off the Nexus. As Dignitas, despite the parent steal, will not find the comeback, and Cloud9 with a ridiculous game to go to 7-1.
I love Spellbook PastryTime just by the fact that we get things like that where mid laners randomly switch over to Smite, stealing away Barons in big moments. Yeah, he did. Twisted Fate out Spellbook.
That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah. The Tristana, though, from Perkz.
Wow.
So big this game. He was able to give away 2 maximum bounties. Fully stacked up bounties, and it didn't even matter. Cloud9 with the stomp.
Yeah, just an awesome game. And I think we've seen like lots of different attempts at answering Twisted Fate, and often it's like you're picking a different global to try and outroam or match the roams, right? You're either picking Rise because you can push and control the wave and use your ulti and just your general mobility to roam around after you push in the wave, or something like Silas, where you're straight up trying to steal the ulti and do a Twisted Fate impression to match him when he roams with his ulti. This Tristana seems like a much simpler and more potent answer, whereas Twisted Fate leaves, you just tell your team not to die, and Tristana takes the mid tower. And then all of a sudden, even if Twisted Fate gets a kill or two, it hopefully doesn't matter because your Trista's already opened up the map and given your team gold to a point where you can just go from there. Like, Trista's one of those picks where, in this scenario, I liked it a lot, but I also think it's just going to be a mainstay if she stays at this power level because very flexible, very powerful, and clearly very effective. And Perkz showing that off here in this game.
All as expected from Champion Select. Blaber, I think, deserves a lot of credit for this game as well, though. Honestly, the Lillia play, so many counters for him. He was able to have a really good route as well as getting so much value off the bottom lane play into picking up Dardoch and then controlling all Scuttle Crabs for the first 10 minutes of the game, probably more than that. Stopped counting after that point, and Cloud9 with a very, very dominant early game. They basically said, yes, Fudge up there on the Gragas, just ignore it, basically. Yeah, he's going to have a CS deficit versus Renekton. It's not going to matter.
And certainly did not, as it is time for us to step away. But when we return, we'll have Vulcan in the Verizon post-game interview. We'll see you there.